One thing that I really love about young audiences is that there's actually a community feeling that starts with the organization itself.
Everything about young audiences is special. I just love integrating the arts. I love their professional development. They're always modeling, and then you're doing it. So you really get out of your comfort zone. You really step out of the box, so to speak.
I've heard a lot of teachers walk away from other professional developments, or they have said to me that I have walked away feeling like I couldn't do this, right? Like that it's not possible in my classroom. But the teaching artist really knows how to break down the art form so that teachers can feel comfortable with it.
I started working with young audiences about 12 years ago. I'm Dawn Johnson, and I teach at Church Creek Elementary in Harford County. I realized that arts integration was definitely worth teaching and using because of how my students responded. They were on task, they were being creative. Students that might be shy before were no longer as timid, they felt more comfortable. And that's what using the arts is all about. Okay, and can you think of how you could showcase that?
Yeah,
What dance move?
I was thinking maybe I can do like a high kick and maybe a twirl at the end as well, and do it like a pose at the end.
Okay, I love that. It's a wonderful idea.
We're dancing it, we're putting up and we're writing about it, we're making pictures about it, so that when students do go back, not just for tests, but for longevity, I think that is the difference, right? And so it gives them that opportunity to tap in because they're thinking, oh, that's right. Okay, this is how I danced that sequence, and this is what that sequence meant.
I know many of them were sharing with me, this is so interesting, this is so fun, this is my movement. I'm going to show the mudslide, and this is the movement that I'm going to do for the mudslide. And I just think, you could tell that they really got it.
When I am doing something active instead of just like sitting down and working from a textbook, it usually tends to help me figure out how things work a little more.
When you embody information, it's an opportunity to make personal connections. So it's really an opportunity to see how you feel about something and to make those decisions with your physical body, and then to think about the curriculum that you're connecting to. Math and numbers and fractions and social studies, right? Understanding history and thinking about turmoil or moments of success.
So my friends and I were told to make a dance about fractions, and I remember my friend Maddie and Maya were holding my hands and my feet, and I was a fraction bar. And I remember just watching all of us do this together, figure out what was happening and make moves to it, kind of just clicked in my mind. That's how you do it. That's how you multiply and divide the fractions. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah.
It really sticks with kids. They never forget those lessons, and honestly, they're always like, that was my favorite lesson.
I feel like it was so entertaining, in the regular classrooms. Sorry, it's boring, but in young audiences, I think it was very fun.
We used to make up songs and math, raps in this class to make it more fun and understandable. Before young audience, I used to sit at the back because I didn't want to get called on, but now I sit in the front of class because I know the answer to the question.
He excelled in his math, I have to say that, truly. He reminded me of how to do the conversions for fractions and decimals. And so he was very proud of himself, and I was thankful.
I think that my students really love arts integration because not only are they growing educationally, but I think they're growing socially and emotionally because they're able to use the arts and they're able to really come out of their shell and develop as a person.
The reason why I do the work that I do is because it's not just about dance, but it's really about helping students to see the beauty that is inside of them.
I get to really find things in me that I didn't know were there, and with other people I get to find out what other people are good at, and that I never knew before because they either didn't know or didn't show it.
I always thought about wanting to be a fashion designer. I just didn't know I could do it. This was the first thing I made in Miss Anna's class. I love the piece because this is my favorite color, yellow. and hot pink.
I see Tiffany really blossom in the program, and I think she will agree when she made that outfit to be modeled. From the audience, I watched her as she stood in a corner and watched her classmate model her creation, and she seemed very proud of it.
I was very, very excited and honored that someone else could wear my piece that I designed and thought of from scratch.
I think that was what triggered her to believe in herself and to thinking that she can really do this in, long term.
It's been 2 years and I'm still working on my poetry and fashion design, and I don't think if it was for Young Audiences program that I'll be doing as well as I am today. I'm still thinking about Miss Anna and Mr. Fish and how much they've taught me. Yeah, it makes me feel good.
The teachers and artists would definitely, it seemed like they were also going through it with us.
It builds trust, it builds love, it builds kindness, and it's so beautiful because the students are seeing that the teacher is learning as well, and that we're all in this space and we're all learning together.
You will see the difference in your students' data. You will see the difference in their motivation to learn. You will see the difference in their focus and their ability to really retain the information. The dynamics of everyone changes because you get to use that creativity. And if it's changing with adults, imagine the power that has over your kids. I mean, seriously, they love it.
The number one thing I got out of the program was confidence and how to love myself.
And remember that one lesson on Main Idea and that song that we made? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, I still use that song.
Between the pre-test and the final test, I grew 67%, and that's really good.
Everybody can dance. It doesn't matter what language that you speak.
I think the art should be in schools because it makes learning fun. It makes just everything better.